Sleep is weakness. We might never come right out and say that, but a lot of us live like it's true. We burn the candle at both ends, staying up late to check one more box, and then waking up early to get a head start on the day. We grind because it's required. To stay ahead, to move forward, to avoid getting fired. Sleeping in is a luxury once you've made it, but a detriment before then. Only slackers hit snooze, and only party poopers are in bed by 9. But what if we've been misled? What if instead of being a subtractor from our life, sleep was a multiplier? At this point, you probably know something about sleep, that it's good for you and necessary for your body's recovery. You might even know that it helps you think better, even if you're not clear on how. Today, I'm less concerned with what you know and more interested in what you believe. Knowing that sleep is good gets you a gold star in test, but believing that sleep is good will transform your life. 4 pictures inside your head. Your brain does a lot while you sleep. It's like a little Amazon warehouse of activity, a mass of chaotic energy all aimed at helping you wake up better, stronger, and a more efficient version of yourself in the morning. But 92% of it, that's a guesstimate, can be explained by 4 images: a pendulum, a pair of glasses, a library, and an evidence board. In these 4 analogies lie almost everything you need to know about sleep and the brain, along with an understanding of why your life sucks when you don't get enough of it. First, the pendulum. So who in your life gets especially cranky when they're tired? I'm tempted to throw my wife under the bus on this one, but it's me. Honestly, we've been married for 9 years now, and a not insignificant reason for that is because she's very good at getting me to bed on time. Now, there are 2 things at play here. Your amygdala, or what Dr. Matthew Walker, in his book Why We Sleep, calls the emotional gas pedal, and the prefrontal cortex, or the brake pedal. When you get too little sleep, typically 6 hours or less, your brain reverts to a primitive pattern of uncontrolled reactivity. You become all gas, no brake. And this is where the pendulum idea comes in. The brain doesn't just become more negative when it's tired. It becomes more reactive to any emotion. Your highs climb higher and your lows fall lower. Either side extends by up to 60% of your normal. Now, 60% is just a number until we put it into context of something you already know, like driving. If you're on a highway where the speed limit is 50 miles per hour, a 60% fluctuation would be like you swinging between 20 miles an hour and 80. Sleep enables the brake. It quiets the crazy. It slows the pendulum down, allowing you to respond, not just react. A rested brain is in control. The glasses. In addition to narrowing the swings of the pendulum, sleep has a way of helping the brain see the world more clearly. And by that, I mean with less emotional interference. An underslept brain sees the world through frosted glass. Our ability to interpret other people's emotions gets foggy, as does our ability to display our own. We misjudge situations, make inaccurate assumptions, and ultimately choose routes that take us further away from what we truly want. In REM sleep, which primarily happens during hours 5 and 8 for most adults, our brains enter an integration phase, where we build an ever more accurate model of how the world works. One of the reasons it's so accurate is because it processes events, interactions, and learnings without emotions. The chemicals responsible for anxiety and stress get switched off so that for a few hours every night, we become truly objective observers of our own lives. Then, when we wake up, we integrate those insights into how we act and speak and move. Getting enough sleep won't give you rose-colored glasses, but it will prevent you from walking around with sludge-covered ones. Those last few hours wipe away the gunk. They offer us a clarity and an accuracy that amplifies our effectiveness in the world. A rested brain sees the truth. The library. When we talk about integration, what exactly are we integrating and into where? This is where we finally get to talk about memory, or as I like to think about it, our own personal mobile library. Now, I love libraries. Working in them is how I paid the bills in both undergrad and grad school, and the way books get added to a catalog is actually really similar to how events become memories in our head. At the library, each new book would get entered into our software, tagged with a sticker marking where it should go, and finally shelved in the correct location. When you fall asleep, the first thing your brain does is decide what's worth keeping and what should get thrown out. Lots of things influence this process. How strong are the emotions? Does it tie into other big sections of your library? Was there repetition present, signaling that this thing should make the cut? Then, just like a book, the good stuff gets tagged and carried off into the right place. You can imagine a nerdy little organizer running around your head, living their best life. That is what happens when you rest. But when you undersleep, or pull an all-nighter, or take PDDs, performance-enhancing drugs like alcohol or caffeine or really spicy food, the picture looks much different. The process becomes leaky. The new stuff coming in looked damaged, so most of it gets tossed out right away. Then the stuff that does make it through is a mess. That nerdy organizer becomes a disgruntled, distracted employee. They mislabel books, get the information wrong, and shelve things all out of order. Your ability to remember and to use those memories to make decisions gets cut anywhere from 20 to 35% after missing just one night of sleep. Stretch that over a period of weeks or months where you're not getting the recommended 8 hours and the consequences intensify. Not only are you using less than half of your cognitive capacity, you're also learning twice as slowly. If life feels especially difficult, it might be because you have a burnt out librarian in your head. The good news though is that sleep is smart. It knows how to fix the mess. You just have to show up in bed. A rested brain holds the answer. The evidence board. This last one is my favorite of the bunch. If you're a fan of detective shows, conspiracy forums, or It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, you've definitely seen these before. They are cork boards covered in pictures and documents and newspaper clippings with strings of yarn crisscrossing the top to make connections. This is exactly what your brain does, except we call it creativity. There's two default ways your brain recalls and uses information, usually to solve a problem. When you're awake, it's logic. And by logic, we mean a clear associative path from one thing to another. Think long division. It makes sense, it stays in one section of the library, and there's hierarchy. This way is great for logical problems. But most of the really juicy stuff in life, like relationships and business and art, etc., they aren't really solved that way. And that's where the second way comes in, sleep. When you drift off to dreamland, your logic guards peace out. They don't work the night shift, which is why your dreams can get so weird, but it also enables your creativity to bloom. In REM sleep, your brain shortcuts the obvious links and favors very distantly related concepts. Back in the library, this means your brain stops looking for the answer to a food question just in the cooking section and starts jumping all over. History, technology, biography, gardening, yoga, maps. There's a reason evidence boards are also called crazy walls. The information alchemy your mind engages in seems random and unproductive, but that's what needs to happen to make new possible. Logic gets you from 1 to 2. Creativity gets you from 1 to 10. An underslept brain is like a board with no string. You lose the ability to make far-off connections and get stuck with short-sighted answers. Life feels smaller because it is. Creativity is one of the few superpowers we actually have access to. Don't trade it for an extra hour of Netflix. A rested brain solves the problem. Sleep is all of it. Sleep will help you get to where you want to go. It will transform you into a clearer thinker, a bolder, creative, and a gentler leader. It will show you the way forward. And when there isn't one, it'll teach you how to make it. Sleep is where it all starts, where mental health begins, and sleep is how you win.